Don't think I've grown.
You have. Hello and good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
And I'm Lauren.
And I have to get on my tippy toes as well.
This is our restore. Let's start that again. This is our restore and recharge practice where we use our body weight, gain some mobility and strength. So all you'll need is yourself, maybe a balance aid like a bar on the wall, a countertop, or a chair nearby for some hip bars later. But first,
it's that head neck, and then the rib cage, and then Lauren for the feet. Assemble your feet in a comfortable stance. Maybe it's a squat or parallel can work too. As usual, start with that gentle chin tuck in where the crown of the head goes tall. Then, low effort, do the text neck. Press your face towards forward, and then pull the chin back in, growing tall. Then, maybe slide an ear away from center, return, and then repeat on the other side. Small ranges are okay. Next, we'll do our chin tuck. We'll gently go forward face, and then from forward, I'll move clockwise as I move to the right, then circle into the back. Now go through the front, that text neck shape, and then to the other side and around the back and in. Let's repeat that same movement in the opposite direction. So go in or back, then to the side. And it doesn't need to be big, but reach out towards the front. Then low effort, pull back in, and then circle to the other side, or clockwise for me now, as you go around the side to the front, and then pull back in. Let's repeat those same actions through the rib cage. For that, I do like the hands tight to the body and the shoulders retracted. Squeeze your butt cheeks. With the head moving as a unit, press the sternum forward. Lauren's side profile exemplifies that very well. Then, round a little bit through that upper back, but ensure the shoulder blades stay squeezing. Repeat one more time as we do the forward drift or extension of the spine, and then that gentle flexing action of the spine to the back. Return to center. Same effort here laterally, so laterally shift the ribs, return through center, and same effort to the other side. Let's repeat that one more time each. Ensure that the hips stay level, the ribs stay level. Avoid the teapot tip. We'll get into that in a second. Now, that figure 8 shape as we'll extend forward, and then I'll move clockwise here to the right. Slide to the right, slide to the back, and then continue to slide forward. Then it's the other direction, so out to the left for me, move in through the center, and then return to tall. Reversing first now, so we'll round out that spine a little. Slide to the back corner, then the side to the front corner, to the front, and then last time through the middle, out to the back, to the side, slide to the front, and pull things back in, finishing tall. And the shake and wiggle can help reset all of those unique places for the rib cage. That's it for me.
Next to the feet. We'll start with some walks that'll help our feet and ankles move in the various directions. Point a leg out front. Keep it nice and straight. All 5 toes are going to grip the floor, then the ball of the foot, and then the heel is going to land. Pull on that straight leg to bring your weight onto that front leg and gently bend that back knee and the back ball of foot. Toes. Use the toes to point. Bring that leg through. Repeat. All 5 toes touch. Ball of foot. Pull on that front leg, gently bending through the back one. Get to that demi point of the bent toes. Use your toes to flick. Point through. 2 more. Toes. Ball. Heel. Pull yourself onto that. Bend. Flick. Point through. Toe. Ball. Heel. Bend. Flick. And now let's end up with feet underneath us. We're going to go backwards back now. You're going to bend a leg. Then it's going to land toe, not a big step, ball, heel. Start pushing off your front leg. I want you to keep your front leg straight as it passes underneath your body, and then it'll have to bend. Toe, ball, heel. Straight leg as it passes underneath and lands, toe, ball, heel, nice and straight, hips push forward, just end with your feet underneath you. I think that was 4 steps. Now, wherever you are, keep your feet there and drive down and just find a balance up as tall as you can get on your imaginary high heels. Squeeze your cheeks, pull your kneecaps up. Hold this position for 3, 2. Now I want you to come down as slow as you can. 1 millimeter at a time, keeping your knees straight, keeping your cheeks squeezed, keeping your core braced all the way to the heels. Whew. Now let's gently bend our knees, pressing the knees towards over the toes. And then to stand up tall, extend those hips through squeezing. Repeat again. Pull yourself down, knees towards over toes. Now try to find that light balance, staying the same height. And then the heels will reconnect and the hips will extend, pressing to tall. One more time, drill down and grow up. And then again, that slow, slow, slow descent, finding the heels, holding for a second, and then relax and shake it up.
Returning the head and then that rib cage one last time. This time it's that figure 8 shape with the gentle teapot or tipping actions. First, we'll start with the chin tuck in. Then a gentle chin nod, looking down. And then trace the clavicle as you rotate to look over a shoulder. Then from the shoulder, look up the wall. Trace your eyes along the ceiling. And when your chin and eyes line up with your belly button in the middle, pull down, flexing on the neck again. Repeating the flexing pattern down, and then rotate away from center, tracing the collarbone. Look up that wall. Take your time navigating the wall to the ceiling. And in center, pull the crown high, chin down, resetting your eyes on the horizon. Repeat in the extension phase first. Low effort, stabilize, pulling down as we extend up. Then we'll look to the side. Then from the ceiling to the wall to the armpit, and then trace center. When the nose, chin, and belly button line up, continue to pull down to stabilize the extension of the neck, up, and then out to the side, down the wall. The gentle chin tuck, of course. Trace the clavicle to the center, and continue to pull down to extend, looking forward. Same effort through that rib cage, a little tip, roll, and bend. Start with the hands across the body or in a safe place for you, and a moderate chin tuck as usual. Then with the shoulders retracted, we'll flex ourselves rib cage onto the hips. Next, it's a rotation. Then I'll dip to the back corner here, lifting up and over a high jump hurdle there out the back, and then continue to pull down in the front. Then it's that rotation, side bend to the new corner or the different corner, and then up and over, and return, pulling the rib cage down, finishing tall. Moderate chin tuck as we then extend or lift up and over. Then it's the rotation, it's the side bend, and circle the ribs back to the front now. And when the chin, the sternum, and the belly button line up, pull down to stabilize the extension of that T-spine. Then we're lifting up and over and a soon to follow rotation to the back corner. Dip towards that back corner, circle the rib cage around those hips, promoting that core stability as we pull down, and that T-spine or rib cage mobility. Reset in center with any kind of friendly wiggle for you. Another silly walk, Lauren. What do you have in store?
We're gonna walk with bent knees here.
Okay.
2 versions, 2 animals. One is a duck. Let's bend our knees, pressing the knees towards over the toes. Bring the ceiling down. Stay underneath as you walk slowly forward. As we step here, I want you to think about peeling the heel off the floor, flicking the toes, and landing heel, toe, heel, ball, toe. Peel the foot up, land, roll through that foot. Once you get to the end of your room, could you do the same thing backwards back? So the ceiling's still down, toe, ball, heel, toe, ball, heel. Absorb that floor. Keep that core brace, staying the same height for the last 2 steps or so. Put your feet underneath you and then drive those hips through, extending to tall and just holding. Let's practice that balance again by pushing down to come up. Hold that position. Maybe look around the room this time. Have that balance aid at your side if needed. Bring your head back to center with your knees straight. 3, 2, 1, descended. Excellent. Next animal, a horse. You'll need a little bit of room in front of you, but we can adjust if you don't have it. Feet underneath you. Rotate out to that first position. And now let's pull the legs together, coming down to that bent leg position again. Ceilings back down on your head. Point a leg out about 45 degrees. So your heel and your toe should be on the same line. You're going to point toe, ball, heel. Pull on the straight leg so much it starts to bend, and then push off that back leg. Let's keep our hips forward, drag that back leg in to come back to that plie or bent leg position. Repeat other side. Point, toe, ball, heel. Pull on the straight leg to bend, and then push out that back leg. Point off that back foot, connect heels. Repeat, toe, ball, heel. Pull and push. Heels connect, stay in the same height, 2 more steps. Point, toe, ball, heel, pull. Feel those adductors, push through that back hip and connect. One last time. Point, toe, ball, heel, pulling on that leg. Let's get to 2 heels together, that plie position, weight in between both feet, and then drive down to extend. Squeezing the cheeks, pulling the kneecaps up, bracing the core, and then so much that we find a balance again. Surprise. Hold. Now keep those knees straight and slowly come down. Knees straight, heels find the floor, and then gently relax.
Relax with those shakes. Get those heels going. We'll continue our squats here in a second, but let's fold to the floor and warm up that core, but first the wrists. It's the chin tuck that helps us get to the fold. Start there. Then retract those shoulders. Then flex the rib cage over the hips. Encourage the knees to stay straight. But if you run out of room, add the knee bend and gently encourage that range through the upper back. When you're at the bottom, wherever that is for you, take a breath in. Exhale. Maybe ask permission to straighten those knees again.
Can I straighten my knees?
And with one more breath, and then easy does it. Return the hands to the floor, fingertips, calluses, and full hands securing. Knees down from there. Turn, let those blood donations face forward. Pack the shoulders and pull the hands to the knees. Without going anywhere, did you feel the core tension, those lats pull? Then pull so much to encourage the shoulder extension, the wrist extension, or the shoulders going over the fingertips. Then press the floor forward. Lauren's side profile is the best for this too. And as you press the hands forward, pull the knees into the hips and keep that anterior or cow-like tip of the hip. Repeat one more as we'll pull the hands to the knees. Encourage that wrist extension. Then push forward, tip your tailbone back like cow. And for 5 more seconds, try to pull those knees into the hips off the floor. Then press through the floor, push the hips through, and tuck under like cat, or that posterior tuck in the hips, and add our shake. One more wrist warm up for me. This time it's the fists. Land gently on those peace sign digits.
Peace.
Typically, we'll be out to the side with those bowed-like elbows. Encourage the elbows to stay stiff or straight, and land again with tension on the peace sign. From there, with your chin looking neutral between those hands, open a palm and gently flex over the wrist. That again is our example of flexibility. The strength comes in where we drive those knuckle heads down and pull the wrist back to a strong stacked position on the peace sign. Alternate to the other side. Open the hand, straighten the elbow, pack the shoulder, flexible, and mobilize that strength by driving down into the floor to stack the wrist. Last time each side. Easy does it over. Is the elbow straight? Is the armpit pulling down? Then drive those metacarpal heads or the knuckles into the floor to bring it back. Last time for me, take a breath. Maybe a chin tuck. Look around there, then press through. Flick the floor away. Push those hips through. And now it's on to Lauren. Just kind of tell us what to do around here.
Around here, we're going to work on that core. Let's progress our core today. Each step of the way, adding a little bit of a progression that makes the activity a little bit harder, remembering that as you go, you can always come back to the previous drill. We'll start with our hands connecting to the floor. Fingertips, callus line, full palm. I like to have my toes tucked here. It's good for that toe mobility as well as getting some tension. We have a neutral core brace here, which means our low back isn't arched towards the ceiling and we're not rounded. We're just in that nice position. And now, right now, without moving and keep your knees down, pull your right hand to your right hip for 3, 2, then pull your left hand to your left hip like you're rippling the floor underneath you. Now pull both hands to both hips at the same time. Get that quiver going for 3, 2, and then gently relax. Push the palms away. Flick the hands. Let's extend those hips for a second. We'll come back to that. Squeeze the cheeks. For an added bonus and some time off your wrists, hips stay extended. Could you gently lean back? We're matrix here, so we're keeping our knees, our hips, and our shoulders in the same line. And then keep that line as you press through. Let's try that 2 more times. Hips stay extended, rib cage to hips, core brace, cheek squeeze, lean back as far as you can that you can pull out of that in the same line. Last time, we're leaning back, matrix style. How far can you get? But can you come home with the same move? We'll come back to the floor, add to that with our X pattern. Fingertips, callus line, palms come down. Shoulders packed, core brace. This time, pull your right hand to your left hip, cross body tension. Then pull your left hand to your right hip, other cross body. Now pull both hands to opposite hips, creating that X quiver for 3, 2, relax. Are we standing up? From here, I don't know if you heard that one. Push the floor forward and back, keeping the tailbone long, lifting the hips. Let's hang out here for a second. As we are here, we're prioritizing that long, low back spine, maybe trying to straighten the knees. Take a breath, ask that permission, and then slowly walk your hands into your feet, and we'll unfold ourselves. So your knees are relatively straight, and you're going to stack up 1 vertebrae at a time from your low back to the tip of your head. Last. Give it a little shake, a wiggle, and we'll come back to that core soon.
Until then,
Stay tuned.
We'll grab that chair from the back corner, and with your balance aid at your side, we encourage you to use it. Oftentimes in the studio, working on that balance, we'll use the bar, or at least station ourselves near the bar, but people don't use it. We encourage you to use that bar. Then assemble in your parallel stance. From here, we'll work with a straight leg first and then bent legs next. Toe point to the front. The external rotation in the hip is where the inseam goes up and the knee goes out. Then internally rotate on that hip as to take the inseam towards the middle. To help that, to create that stability, push your standing hip forward. Repeating, in place, externally rotating, that's inseam up. Internally rotating, that's the inseam in or under. And finish in an external rotation. Then take that leg to the side. Check. Is the inseam forward? Make it so. Then, with a hand on the bar, you can follow your own rules. Turn in on the hip, gently cramp up those lateral bum cheeks, and then externally rotate forward. When we internally rotate on the lateral leg, press that standing hip forward to stabilize and bring about some incredible feelings over here.
Incredible.
Repeat 1 more time is that external rotation. Then internally rotate, and then bring inseam to inseam as we stand and finish nice and tall. Add your shake. Let's repeat that effort on the other side. Front, rotation, rotation, side, same effort, and then bring those inseams in together. Single leg to the front. Externally rotating, the kneecap goes out, the inseam up. Then press your standing leg forward as you roll internally on the hip, femur rolling in that ball and socket. Then externally rotate, inseam up. Internally rotate 1 last time and keep the standing hip pressing forward. Last external rotation in the front, then utilize that turnout to help the leg get to the side. Inseams are forward currently, so let's hide them or turn them under, keeping those hips facing forward. Then externally rotate. It's a lock and key. Turn in that ball socket as you hide the inseam. We'll show the inseam forward. And for the final repetition, turn in and stand tall, bringing those inseams together, finishing like it's easy.
It's easy.
It's easy. Okay, simple, but maybe not easy. Take it away, Lauren.
We're gonna get back to the floor and do more core. I like to get on my side here. This time, let's utilize our hinge to get to the floor. So we'll chop our hips back, long spine, tailbone slightly tilted to the ceiling or that anterior tip. Hang out here for a second. Feet are gripping the floor, shins are vertical, and then we'll gently tip forward, find the floor with our hands, and assemble on our 6-point position with our hands under our shoulders, toes tucked, knees underneath us. This time, let's create that tension by pulling the floor together and lift the knees a couple centimeters, inches, whatever metric you'd like, off the floor. Hold. Keep pulling your right hand to your right hip and your left hand to your left hip, and pull both at the same time for 3, 2, knees go down. Push the floor forward, sending your hips back, keeping the tailbone slightly tipped to the ceiling. This is our squat-like position. As you pull yourself back forward, we're gonna pull into that hover position. So pull, knees hover off the floor. X pattern, right hand to left hip, left hand to right hip, left and right's opposites, pulls at the same time for 4, 3, 2, push the floor forward, lifting the hips up, tailbone stays long. Walk your hands back towards your feet, ending up in your hinge position again. Load those hips, press through to tall. Whew.
To tall. Let's get that balance aid back up in the center here. And now working on our bent legs. It'll be a little bit of that figure 8 shape or an in and out action at the hip. Start low. It might get crampy. Pull. A single leg up. In this moment again, the standing leg is tucked under like cat, posteriorly tucked, and the elevated leg is tipping back like that cow. From here, let's open the knee to the side. Now the knee can stay in place, and then internally rotate on the hip, bringing the foot away. Then pull the inseam to finish tall. Repeat one more time, and as the knee drives forward into hip flexion, that tailbone is tipping back, compressing the femur in the hip. Next, open to the side. Ask the knee to stay in the same place and internally rotate on the hip. Avoid the hip hike. Then pull together. When the knees are together and the inseams are touching, gently extend the knee. Repeating in the opposite direction, but this time still bring the knee front. So bring the knee front, the standing leg's tucked under, the elevated leg is pulling in. But as you reach to the back, both hips tuck under into that hip extension. Now, pull the foot underneath the hip, but have the knee go wide. Woo! Hello on those bums. Then from there, internally rotate on the hip and pull your inseam to inseam. Repeating to the back one more time, reach to the back gently with those hips tucked under. Then the knee goes wide and the foot goes underneath of the leg. Then pull the leg to center this time, kneecaps forward, and then ride the leg down. And as the foot touches, press the hip through. There you go, Lauren. And just that little shake and wiggle. Let's repeat those 2 efforts on the other side as well. The front half of that figure 8 and the back, and then I do hope to put it together. Pull a single leg up, that outside leg, start low. Compress in the hip and tuck under. Then open that leg to the side and look, or even touch where the knee is. Keep it stable, and then ask the hip to roll in, hiding that inseam under. Then pull the inseam together and pull the knee forward again into hip flexion. Open to the side, hips forward, knee side, and then roll in on the hip. Be careful not to elevate or hike the hip too much, and pull the legs back, inseam to inseam, extend the knee for a quick break. Stand tall though, and then pull up into that hip flexion. Then we have that elevated leg reaching to the back. Both hips in this moment tuck under. Then outward reaching of the knee with the foot going underneath of the hip. Then move the foot out away from center and pull those inseams back together. One last time, it's that hip extension reaching back. Then draw the knee wide and the foot underneath of those hips. Then pull the knee through center, press down the leg, and as the foot touches, push the hip through. One last time with these hip bars here for me, and this time drawing that figure 8 shape.
Do you want to do a quick core first?
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll mix it up.
Let's take a core break. It's not really a break at all. We'll go back to that forward fold, tucking our chin, rolling ourselves forward. Take your time as you make your way to the floor, trying to keep those knees relatively straight, staying in that alleyway or like you're in a toaster, all the way down. Slowly walk yourself out. Hands find the floor, knees find the floor. Let's establish that position of the hover, remembering each time we're progressing, and you can always just stay in that hover position. Pulling together, lifting the knees. We're pulling in that parallel pattern right now. Now, stay connected to the floor with your big toe as you extend the single leg out to the back. Drive that back leg into the floor, keeping the hips square, pulling together for 3, 2, keep the connection as you drag that foot back underneath. Repeat on the other side, extend or reaching out, hips stay square to the floor, drive down, compress abs, pull the knee back under. One more time each side, reaching long, keep square, pull together, 3, 2, drag back under, and one last time, reaching to the back, hips stay square, hips the same height as your shoulders, return, knees underneath you, place them down for a second, and we'll come back up, pushing the floor forward, lifting the hips, walking the hands towards the feet. We'll end up in that forward fold position, and then again, stack yourself up tall, using your abs, using your muscles to stack your spine all the way back to standing. Okay,
and
now.
One last time, with those balance aids your side, that gentle in and out action at the hips. Gentle may be misleading. I hope it's politely cramping and a lot of work. Simple, but not easy. Pull up into our hip flexion, meaning knee forward. Stay low at that ankle or challenge yourself towards that retire-inspired position at the knee. Then open the knee to the side. The knee stays fixed in place as we internally rotate on the hip. Then bring the inseam to inseam, standing tall. Light effort here, tuck under those hips and reach that elevated leg to the rear. That hip extension turns into the knee going wide and the foot going under. Now disconnect the foot again as we internally rotate on that hip and then bring those inseams to inseam. One more time, let's go hip flexion forward. Pull into that hip socket, press the hips forward as the knee opens to the side. Then turn in on that hip, inseam to inseam. Pull underneath. Careful to tuck under those hips to reach back through the elevated leg. It's that external rotation, foot underneath the hip and knee wide. Then the foot goes away from the body as we roll in on the hip again. And then pull those inseams together, extend through the knee, finish tall, and probably a wiggle to break up some of that tension. 2 repetitions, then we're done with these chairs here. Same effort on the other side. Stay tall, pull up, start low, challenge yourself at the knee as allowed. Open to the side. It's that internal rotation on the hip from here, so turn the foot out, internally rotating on that hip. Pull, inseams together. Then tuck under those hips as you gently reach that elevated leg to the back. Keep the knee bent, foot returns underneath of the body with the knee wide. Then the knee stays in place and we roll in on that hip. Pull, inseam to inseam. One last time, we'll continue to flex the hip forward. Kneecaps forward, pull into that hip socket. Then extend as you reach the knee to the side. Yes. Then from there, it's that internal rotation on the hip. Pull those inseams together. And last time here, we'll extend to the back with tucked under hips. Then open the knee wide. Foot underneath. Then the knee stays in place and we roll in once more on that hip. Then pull together. Stay tall. extend through the knee, and probably a shake and a wiggle to help that out. Return those balance aids off to the side.
Get them out of here. We're going to get back down to the floor and do another core.
All right.
As mentioned previously, we are adding on. So a little more advanced here. We're back to that hinge, chopping the hips back, sending that load through the hamstrings and glutes, and then tipping a little bit forward and coming down, establishing our start position as we have. And this time we'll be adding on by lifting that knee off the floor or the toe. Okay, all you need to know right now is we're pulling the floor together, hovering the knees. We'll extend that single leg back into that start position. Now either stay here and keep the tension, or with the knee that's bent, flick the floor away and bring that knee up towards the chest, compressing in the hip. Hold, 3, 2, then that toe will find the floor. Drag that long leg back underneath and repeat on the other side. Reach a leg long, hold, flick the foot, lift the knee towards the chest, hold, 3, 2, toe comes down, leg drags in. Whew, let's take a second off. Should be some work there. One more time, same routine. Pull the floor together, lifting the hips. Drag that single leg out. Either hold here or flick the bent leg and pull the knee towards the chest. 3, 2, land. Knee drags in, other side. The hips remain square this whole time. We're compressing in the socket of the hip to lift the knee. Hold, then place it back down. Both knees return to the floor. We'll come up to standing the same way as we came down, so via that hinge. Push the hips back, walk the hands, load hips and core, and drive through to tall. Excellent.
That's excellent, most indeed. Working on those weight transfers. I'll casually warm up the squat, and then stay tuned to Lauren's weight transfers right after. Address your squat. It might be narrow, so come here. You've been there in that horse stance already. And then press through. Then take a step wider and pull yourself down here. You've been in that position as well in that horse stance. Then press through. Repeat that one more time, pulling low, and lightly fix 2 arms to the knees.
Mentally preparing.
Then casually pull a knee away, match some tension with an arm, and pull in and chill. Same thing other side. Light tension, pull the knee away, match tension, pull in, and then press to stand tall. One more time. Let's pull it low. Light tension, arms on knees, and one at a time, pull away. Then match tension, core brace and pull, chill, effort on the other side, pull away. Pull into that arm from the hip, and then press to stand tall. Bring those feet together. And now, I promise our hips are at least a little bit more warmed up for what Lauren has in mind for our weight transfer.
Great. We're going to start today's weight transfers on single legs, and then, do something else to our hips, and then we'll come back and do it on bent legs. So our first one here is going to be on straight legs, point a leg to the side, toe ball, heel land. You don't want to send that leg too far away, because what we're going to do now is push into the floor and find a single leg balance. As we lift this leg off the floor, I want you to think about reaching to the basement in order to lift the leg. That'll engage the glute versus that low back. Right now we're stacked. The foot is gripping the floor. We're reaching up and away and holding, and then it'll be a toe, ball, heel, pull, push, stack on the other side. Find that stability. Try to keep the inseams forward. We're reaching down and away to lift the leg. Hips through. 3, 2, toe, ball, heel, press, and hold. Straight leg side to side one more time. Hips are forward. Kneecap is pulled up. Ribs to hips. Hold, toe, ball, heel, pull, and then push. You can have that balance aid off to the side or lightly in front of you to use. 3, 2, toe, ball, heel, land center. Pull your legs together. Push your legs away. And then let's transfer to a single leg and close. Next, we'll be performing this forward and backward. So we'll take a leg to the side. We'll draw a quarter circle to the front. Toe ball, heel. Push off your back leg and find a front leg balance. hold. Again, as you lift that back leg down and away for 3, 2, toe, ball, heel. Push off your front foot, find that back leg balance and hold for 3, 2, one more time on each leg. Toe, ball, heel. Push onto that front leg and hold for 3, 2, 1. Last one on that back leg. Press off your front leg, transfer the weight, keep the hips square forward. Then I want you just to tap that front leg down and on a straight leg, pull it in. Great, we have to do the same thing on the other side. So it's point side, circle front, toe ball heel. Push off your back leg, find that front leg, straight leg balance. Our feet are gripping the floor, the arch is working hard. Toe, ball, heel, push, and land on that back leg, holding for 3, 2, toe, ball, heel. Push off the back leg, land on that front foot, hold. 3, 2, one more time on each side. No, one more time on this back leg, hold. 3, 2, keep that front leg straight as it pulls underneath. Squeeze the cheeks, kneecaps up, and then relax, but try not to dump out of it. Woo, great.
Lauren said hips. I think they've had a lot of work to this point. So gently towards aggressively work on those shoulders. Assemble with your serving trays out front. Palms up, blood donations also face up. Low effort, retract the shoulder blades together. Now exaggerate that retraction of the shoulder blades. Make it amazingly, safely, but super challenging to extend those arms without rounding the shoulders. Let's work for 5 more seconds as we aim to have those elbows straighten and the shoulder blades stay stable and fixed in place. Then low effort, now let the shoulder blades round forward. Then retract and low effort, bend the elbows back to the ribs. One last time, we'll squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exaggerate that tension, aim to extend those elbows, but to limit the movement of the blades. Work for 5 more seconds. Did your shoulder blades move? Squeeze them together. Can you really stiffen and straighten those elbows? Try a little harder. Then low effort, round. Low effort, retract. Still low effort, bend back. Arms down. And then that shake. Excite that back, shoulder blades to stay stable, to reach towards the front.
One more move for balance today, bent legs. Start in that slightly turned out position. Let's bend the knees, point to the side, toe ball heel, pull yourself across, and then press. Keep this knee bent and the hips forward. Again, reach the long leg to the basement to lift off the floor for 3, 2, toe, ball, heel, pull, and then push. Hips forward, reaching down and away. You can touch your own butt cheek, feel it light up. One more time each side. Those adductors feel the pull. The hips stay pressing forward. Hold the bent leg. And one more time, finishing up in this side-to-side motion. Pushing, holding. 3, 2, let's place that foot down. 2 legs bent. Push to tall. We'll transfer weight to one of your legs and take the outside leg and draw the circle to the front. Next, we'll bend our knees. From here, I want you to push off that back leg and find a front leg bent knee balance for 3, 2, then it'll be a toe, ball, heel. Push off the front leg and find a back leg bent balance for 3, 2, one more time each side. Pull yourself forward. Push off the back leg, hold. 3, 2, toe, ball, heel. Push off the front leg, back leg balance. Next, what we'll do is we'll tap down, we'll pull that leg in, it'll bend. Stand up tall for 1 second. Let's repeat on the other side. Other leg points, circles to the front, places down, both knees bend. Push off the back leg, finding that front bent knee balance. 3, 2, toe, ball, heel. Off the front leg, find that back leg bent balance. 3, 2, one more time each side. Feel that pull and the push and hold. The ceiling has come down again, so we're trying to stay the same height, keeping the horizon the same. Let's take that front leg, bend it as it pulls underneath, and then drive both legs down, pressing to tall, ending with one balance up here. hold. Drive down, kneecaps up, cheek squeeze. If you're stable, could you look around your room? End up back in center, and with straight knees, slowly come back down to the floor and shake it out. Whew. Check, check, balance.
Check, check. Thank you very much for joining us today live at 9:30 on Fridays with Bars and Bells Restore and Recharge. To our patrons, to our members, or YouTubers at large, thank you for joining us today, and we hope you feel supple, strong, and ready for whatever else you have planned for today.
Supple. Tomorrow morning we
like
work
that
out
word.
at 8 a.m. the weekend workout. We'll play with our strength, something like this with a little more tension. Join us there. Otherwise, we'll see you on Tuesday for our bell class live at 4:05. We're pretty sure. Thanks for joining. Stay tuned to that schedule. Goodbye.
Goodbye.